There you go. Love game.
Is part of a trace program. It's designed to disrupt your input-output carrier signals so it can pinpoint your location. What does that mean?
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Did you? Have you ever had a dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world? This can't be what? Be real?
It's going into replication.
Hey, boss. Let's go. Tank, we're going to need a signal soon.
Active relation.
APOC, location.
Target almost there.
It's going into arrest.
Ma, I got him. Now then.
As part of aviation trials of India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, the naval variant of the Tejas light combat aircraft made its maiden landing and takeoff from our INS Vikrant earlier today, which is a historic milestone for the country, as an indigenous carrier-borne fighter landed and took off from an indigenous carrier for the first time. The aircraft integration will be over by May, and our INS Vikrant will be combat ready by end 2023. And the Navy is also planning to build a second Vikrant class carrier. A Bangalore-based firm, Commedia Systems Technologies Private Limited, along with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, has carried out the upgradation, redesign, and development of a fly-by-wire data acquisition system for some 30 fighter jets of the Indian Air Force. The fly-by-wire data acquisition system was operationally restricted due to obsolete rush in electronic components that was resulting in a very high cost of repair and maintenance. Commedia Systems carried out a study of the obsolete components along with Hindustan Aeronautics and replaced the PCB motherboard and modules with the latest state-of-the-art technology, and it will be part of the Super Sukhoi program that will start prototype testing from 2024 and full-scale upgradation from 2027. Germany's Rheinmetall Defense has announced that it will respond to the Indian Army's FICE program with its Lynx KF-41 next-generation infantry fighting vehicle that will come with transfer of technology to the Indian industrial partner. The Lynx KF-41 features a 35mm dual-feed cannon, a 3-barrel coaxial 7.62mm machine gun, Spike LR2 long-range anti-tank guided missiles, loitering munitions, 360-degree camera system with automatic target detection and tracking, electronic warfare package, and even surface-to-air missiles. It is powered by a 1,140 horsepower turbocharged diesel engine and has a speed of 70 km per hour with a maximum cruising range of 500 km. The Lynx KF-41 can also be equipped with a third virtual crew member with the use of artificial intelligence to operate it as an optionally manned fighting vehicle. At a time when the Indian Air Force has launched a search for 40 to 80 new medium transport aircraft with local production that must have a payload capability ranging between 18 to 30 tons, a defense analyst has said that the Indian Air Force operates 11 C-130J Super Hercules that has a payload capacity of 21 tons, and the C-130J procurement makes more sense rather than investing in a new transporter, as it will help India logistically. But it is not sure if Lockheed will agree to set up a full production line for 40 to 80 aircraft. The Airbus A400M can carry 37 tons and is a viable candidate in the race, but it has a high per unit cost of $165 million, while the C-130J has a unit cost of $75 million, while the Embraer KC-390 has a per unit cost of $85 million that has a payload capacity of 26 tons. The Chinese spy balloon that was shot down by a F-22 fighter jet yesterday was identical to a Chinese surveillance balloon that was spotted over an Indian Navy base in Andaman and Nicobar Islands in January 2022 that had the same antenna-like structure. US officials are not buying the Chinese statement that it was a weather balloon and have asserted that it was clearly a spying asset. A Su-30 aircraft of the Indian Air Force had shot down a similar Pakistani meteorological balloon in Western Sector in 2016 using its 30mm automatic cannon, and the debris was later collected by the Garud commandos. Prime Minister Modi has inaugurated a new helicopter manufacturing factory of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited that is spread over 615 acres and is ready to start manufacturing of light utility helicopter and will expand into the manufacturing of Prachand light combat helicopters and the underdeveloped Indian multi-role helicopter. Apart from manufacturing, the factory will also be used for maintenance, repair, and overhaul of indigenous helicopters.
Американская фирма Transceptor Technology приступила к производству компьютеров «Персональный спутник».
Don't want bullshit today.
One thing you should know about me. I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security. You're talking about dreams. Mr. Cole has a job offer he would like to discuss with you.
A workplace role?
Not exactly. You create the world of the dream. You bring the subject into that dream, and they fill it with their secrets.
Then you break in and steal it.
Well, it's not strictly speaking legal. It's called inception. Alright. I think I found the way home. It's the last job. That's how I get there. Things feel real out there. So when we wake up till we realize something is actually strange. It's a fair responsibility, but not for fair. Trees collapsed. Under control. I hate to see out of control.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
Told you stop selling me pillows. It's my last cup of coffee. That's in here.
Miss me? Nice place you got here. Lots of space. We have a talk. Very upset. We're having dinner. I was a man doing well with a beautiful woman. Without so much as an apology, you ran off that sideshow phony. You know, Vic, I've recently had a tragedy in my life. Alicia threw herself out of the window. But you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Well, Miss Van, another rooster in the hen house. Take thy beak from out my heart. Bruce Wayne, n'est-ce pas?
Most of the time.
I know you are. Let me tell you about this guy I know, Jack. Mean kid, bad seed, hurt people. I like him already. Now, you know, the problem was he got sloppy. You know, crazy. He started to lose it. He had a head full of bad wiring, I guess. Couldn't keep it straight up here. He was the kind of guy who couldn't hear the train until it was 2 feet from him. You know what happened to this guy, Jack? What? Made mistakes. And then he had this. Come on!
Let's get nuts.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What? I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it. Never rub another man's rhubarb. Why is it every time that I come here, somebody always gets in the way? I'll need a moment alone, boys. I'm only laughing on the outside. My smile is just skin. If you could see inside, you'd cry. You might join me for a week.
Is this your homework, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
Look, man.
Please. Is this your homework, Larry?
Ask him about the car.
Is this yours, Larry? Is this your homework,
Is it
Larry?
your car out front?
Is this your homework, Larry?
We know it's his fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, Lou Brad?
Look, Larry, have you ever heard of Vietnam?
Oh,
You're entering a world of pain, son. We know that this is your homework. We know that you stole a car.
And the fucking money.
And the fucking money. And we know that this is your homework.
Why cut your dick off, Larry?
You're killing your father, Larry. All right. This is pointless. Okay. Time for plan B. You might want to watch out that front window, Larry. Son, this is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass! Light trouble here. Little prick stonewalling me.
Walter! What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Here you go, Larry. You see what happens? You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens? This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass, Larry. This is what happens, Larry. You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass? This is what happens. You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass? What happens, Larry? This is what happens, Larry. What happens, Larry? This is what happens when you fuck a stranger. What the fuck are you doing, man? Stop it! I just fucked that fucking guy last week. Wow! I'm gonna fucking kill you! I just fucked the fucking guy last week. Come on, man. I'll kill you, fucking guy, man.
No, hey, that's not his ass!
God damn it! Oh, fuck you! You like that? Fuck you! I'll kill you, fucking guy, man. I'll kill you, fucking guy.
A costly turnover on the first day of the Super Bowl experience. Somebody ran out with her.
Fucking assholes. Wake up, man!
Everyone's having fun at my fucking expense? Is that what you're telling me? Everyone's having a great fucking time at my expense?
With the venom sink on and I'm bearing all my teeth out while the adrenaline kicks in. And I know that's trying to fight. Sleep is when I get a night. Heartbeat's not afraid. I'm aware you're mine now. I got to the sky. Come for the diamond. So I can shoot the fire when you know it. I'm the eyes. Why you trying to fight? Sleep is when I get a night. Heartbeat's not afraid. I'm aware you're mine now. I got to the sky. Come for the diamond. So I can shoot the fire when you know it. I'm a queen fire.
Fuck you, Foxman. Fuck you, baby Steve.
And years ago,
Before we get to the second recession, can we talk about the first? Sure, absolutely. We just had a payrolls report that had unemployment at 3.4% and payrolls at 517,000. Recession? What recession? So this looks a lot to me like, we'll say third quarter and fourth quarter of 1999. We had 6% GDP third quarter, 7% GDP fourth quarter, and it was a blow off top. You had businesses hoarding inventory ahead of Y2K. Some differences. The Fed was tightening, the market was saying the Fed's getting close to being done, but we're still growing strong. And then all of a sudden, 2000, you're down, and it's just down fast. Today, businesses are hoarding labor. That's not sustainable, especially when you see operating margins compressing and you see labor productivity negative. That's not a good thing. So that itself doesn't look sustainable. But another things that we're looking at is lower income cohorts, households are spending well beyond their means. Credit card debt is growing. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. Credit card interest rates are at 40-year highs. That's not sustainable. Middle income, higher income cohorts, they're dipping into savings at an astounding rate as well. That's probably more sustainable because they've got a huge cushion. But you put it all together, we're seeing shallow recession because eventually the consumer wobbles over. And once the consumer wobbles, then businesses stop hoarding that labor like you saw in 2000 with inventories. And then you get that cascade effect. But it should be fairly shallow because we do think by the time this happens, we're talking later this year, and now the Fed's starting to put it towards cuts in 2024.
That's what I was going to say. What's the Fed's response to a shallow recession? Is it rate cuts if inflation hasn't really been killed off?
I think they're gonna hem and haw on this as long as they possibly can, but eventually they will pivot towards rate cuts, but not this year. Now that's interesting because the bond market, as of Friday morning before the jobs number, was pricing in cuts as soon as, we'll say, October or November of this year. So the market this morning is pushing those cuts further out, it looks like. But the Fed is still going to have to wobble itself towards cuts and pivot towards cuts at some point next year, I believe.
Is just a shallow recession nothing deeper enough to justify credit valuations where they are, given the ongoing rally that people have really played into?
Yeah, I would say no, both in the investment grade and high yield space, no. I mean, we got IG spreads, investment grade corporate spreads, somewhere around the 115 to 120. Even in a shallow recession, historically, you're talking about 180 to 200. That's a very shallow recession. And by the way, you can make the same extrapolation to the equity markets, where you're looking at how much do earnings contract in a shallow recession. It's 15%, 20% perhaps. So nothing seems to line up even with that shallow dip in earnings and in output that we're expecting. So there has to be some risk asset pain.
The Chairman Powell Volume 2 tomorrow. We finish there. Do you expect anything different from the Fed chair?
No, I think what he's trying to tell us is we don't know where we're going to terminate the funds rate. It could be 5, 5.25, 5.5, but we're confident we're going to hold it there for a while. And we don't know what a while is, but it's probably the remainder of this year. Beyond that, he's data dependent. I hate that phrase. We all hate that phrase. Tom loves it. But we need to see numbers. We need to see the jobs numbers. We need to see how quickly inflation's coming down. And all of it comes down to one important data point or concept that you're not hearing people talk a lot about today: labor force productivity. If labor force productivity somehow rises and participation rate rises, then it's a game changer. I don't see that happening.
Participation did on Friday. Is there anything about the data at the moment that makes you think, I don't really know what's happening here? I can't draw conclusions about the post-pandemic realities of this labor market.
Well, that's a head scratcher. And what we do broadly say is it seems that 18 to 25-year-olds are still, to some extent, boycotting this market, this labor market. We don't know why they're doing that. We can suspect, we can give anecdotal reasons. But
someone's going to give you one right now.
We all have, and we can have our cynical reasons why, but for whatever reason, they are boycotting this market. And when they do join the labor market, they're not putting their best efforts forward. So labor force productivity is negative.
One of the great things of Strategas is the inbred optimism shot that Jason Trent started. Don't tell me Jason Trent is 100% cash. Once again, wouldn't believe you shot.
No, so we're looking at, again, consistent with a shallow recession, a modest earnings contraction, and that means that, say, the S&P, let's put a ballpark here. Let's do $200 per share for earnings for this year.
Yeah.
17 to 17.5 multiple. I guess we'll say 3,500. And if the Fed, pauses and pivots sooner than expected, maybe you get back down to 3,600. But we're still bearish at these levels on equities. We just don't see.
I just love to hear bond guys talk that.
I just enjoyed that assessment as Gen Z. They don't want to go to work, and when they get to work, they don't want to work.
They don't put their best foot forward. Did you like how gracefully you put that?
You think Tom's doing reviews with the Atlas class of 2022?
Yeah, I'm guessing that it's going to be a really interesting time. I wonder though what's going on. Do you think it's just social media? Do you think it's just?
No idea. Don't know.
Where's work from home?
No, seriously, on that productivity. No, I've got no clue. If you go back to the labour market of Friday to see unemployment at 3.4%, to see payroll growth at 517,000, and then if you just left the wage number blank and said, guess what? I don't think you would have come up with what the wage number is right now.
The compositional aspect though is interesting. There are some more lower wage jobs that are getting created than the higher wage ones. But you're right. Why aren't we seeing that pressure? If we don't, is it okay to see really robust job growth? The Federal Reserve that is looking for inflation, not necessarily for more people to lose their jobs.
Which is why I said this morning, when the Fed chair says the disinflationary process has started, does the payrolls report on Friday contradict that or support it? Be interested to see how the Fed chair himself talks about this if it comes up tomorrow.
I don't think we know. Nobody's given an answer. It's a morass of unclarity, that sort of thing.
Thanks, Tom. This was great. Thank you, buddy. We'll see you. Tom Titouris there. Thank you. Thank you. Coming up, Isaac Boltanski of BTIG, the President of the United States, an address to the country tomorrow.
Keeping you up to date with news from around the world with the first word, I'm Lisa Mateo. Some of the most powerful earthquakes in decades hit the Middle East today, killing more than 1,500 people in Turkey and Syria. The first quake measured 7.7 and ripped across the border between the two countries. The second also hit the southeastern part of Turkey and measured 7.5. The quake's force saw a halt in crude oil flows to a crucial Turkish terminal. Divers have been sent to recover what the U.S. believes is spy equipment from that Chinese balloon shot down off South Carolina. Bloomberg's learned the government expects to find equipment capable of taking detailed photographs along with other sensors. Lawmakers are demanding to know if any of the technology came from the U.S. or its allies. In France, more strikes and protests are planned by unions opposed to President Emmanuel Macron's pension reform proposal. The National Assembly starts debating the measures today. It includes increasing the minimum retirement age from 62 to 64. Carlyle Group has a new CEO. Private equity giant has chosen former Goldman Sachs co-president Harvey Schwartz. Schwartz takes over for co-founder Bill Conway, who became interim CEO last August when Kyu-Son Lee resigned after a power struggle. And Dell has become the latest tech company to announce massive job cuts. It will eliminate a little more than 6,600 jobs. That's about 5% of its global workforce. Dell faces plummeting demand for personal computers. Global news powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in over 120 countries. I'm Lisa Mateo, and this is Bloomberg.
Good morning. This is Bloomberg Savannah.
Welcome to Bloomberg Markets, trying to open.
This is Bloomberg Technology.
To our television and radio audiences worldwide, welcome now to Balance of Power.
This is Bloomberg.
A multi-trillion-dollar industry. There's a lot of ground to cover.
Commodities got absolutely crushed.
We'll show you what's happening in ETFs like no one else. Bloomberg ETF IQ. Monday on Bloomberg. Tuesday, President Joe Biden delivers the State of the Union address. Join David Weston and Bloomberg's top political reporters and analysts live from the Bloomberg headquarters in Washington, D.C. as President Biden lays out his plans to tackle the war in Ukraine, Congress's debt limit standoff, immigration, and more. And stay tuned after the speech as we break down the Republican response. Special coverage starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, simulcast on television and radio, only on Bloomberg, your global business authority.
I can assure you that if we fly a balloon over China, they're going to shoot it down, and probably a lot sooner than we did. This is not a coincidence that this thing traversed the United States over sensitive military sites, leading up to Blinken's what was scheduled to be his visit to China. And this is deliberate. They did this on purpose. The message they were trying to send is what they believe internally, and that is that the United States is a once great superpower that's hollowed out, it's in decline.
Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida speaking on ABC over the weekend. Live from New York City this morning. Good morning. Equities look like this on the S&P 500. We are negative by 0.6% on the S&P. Off session lows though. Taking a bite out of those losses from earlier on this morning. The low this session, we were down about 1% on the S&P. Yield still higher on the 10-year by 7 or 8 basis points to 360. The action on the 2-year fascinating, up 10 basis points, just short of 440 rather. Had a look at that earlier on today. 439 right now on a 2-year. That is a real change. At one point last week, we were having a conversation, Tom, about breaking down into the threes at the front end of the curve, and we are moving in the other direction.
And I think we need to say this because in the equity market, it's intuitive. And I think for bonds, it takes some work. At least it knows that. The bottom line is when you have this move, it's yield up, it's price down. There's a lot of people looking at the whipsaw. Maybe they're not even trading. They're just holding. And they're like, am I having any fun here? And I'm not sure.
They've had a lot of fun here today. Let's be clear about that. Fixed income. Less fun after Friday. And less fun. Cool. That this continues this morning.
The person it's been more fun for is people who had deposits at banks that now can go into T-bills and make 4%, 4.2%. And you're seeing a lot more people do that.
This is what they've cost. This morning, to an audience in Utah. The combination of limited upside in our base case, substantial downside risk if the economy dips into recession, makes for a challenging distribution of outcomes for equity investors. And here's the line, especially relative to the alternatives. And Lisa brings up an alternative, Tom, which will give you 4%.
Which is yield and coupon. We talked about that.
Where's the pushback?
You actually,
it's a job dog.
That's back.
Well, this is what I get started. It's what that guilt edge.
Oh, really? We're going to
Learning
every day. I said, well, chances are we're going to hang up on this. Joins us right now, Director of State of the Union Research at ATIG. Isaac, your research notes are great because they're wicked granular. Does your model matter if we're going to see on display tomorrow night?
If they do tomorrow, if they make tomorrow, it's what the president has to say. Just provide a little bit of insight
Absolutely nothing to fucking say. That is huge. Absolutely nothing.
So I guess I'm gonna give that's not how that big girl. So I guess I'm gonna give that's not how that big girl. That's not how that big girl. So I guess I'm gonna give you a more. This is my space. Do what I say. This is your space. I'll do what you say.
This is your space. I'll do what you say. This is your space. Do what I say. This is my space. Do what I say. This is your space. I'll do what you say. This is our space. So you think it's all over? That's when it starts again. We're gonna work it out. Okay now, run. This is my space. Do what I say.